welcome back to my channel. Today we will be working on this fun little piece that has metallic watercolors. We have a little bit of glitter and fun background, and we also will be playing with a little bit of salt. We will be starting with our colors. This is Dr. P.H. Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolor. This is 5A, which is Scarlet, and 12A, Juniper Green, aka my favorite color in the world. And we also will be using our Van Gogh watercolor metallic paints. This is for the moon and little details. And also we will be using our Stickles glitter gel in Nebula. And this is just to add a little bit of fun to our piece and make it a little bit more cohesive. For our brushes, we will be starting with the number 30th Royal and Langnickel Jumbo brush. This is for our background, and it's to put the water in. We also will be using our number 10 Grumbacher to actually make our background. And we'll be using number 8 and number 6 of the Elite Princeton brush. This is for our moon and all of our little details. After putting some color in our palette, we will be wetting our page, and this is just to allow the paint to just go crazy in it. So the goal for this is to make our pages wet, but not to make it pools of water, because we want the paint to be able to disperse and to move around and to mix with the other paint that I'm laying down. Now for the background, there's not really a plan that I made. It's just I just put paint in whichever way I wanted to put it. I like this kind of backgrounds where you let loose and do paint do its thing. I had a little bit of an accident right there on our left side, so once this happens, I usually just try to make it part of the piece. It's no big deal. It's just paper. So we play with it. I added a little bit of more paint here and there. I also added a little bit of water to make it lighter in some places, but there's really not a structure, there's not really a set way to do this. Now after this, we add a little bit of salt, and this will create a fun texture, fun pattern in our painting, and this allowed for some of that red, beautiful red, to come through. Now for this part, you can either wait for it to dry, or you can use a heat gun, which is what I used in this case. And the one thing, when you're using a heat gun, just make sure to be in a well ventilated place and don't let it do what it did to me. And everything was fine. Nothing got damaged, nothing got burned. It was just that I was in an enclosed space and the heat gun started producing some smoke, and all of the alarms went off. My boyfriend had to come running to turn everything off, but everything was fine. And after that, what I'm doing is just cleaning up my piece, taking all of the salt out of there, and I use both a clean brush and my hands to try to get it out. And here we have a very beautiful background where I wasn't expecting all of this red to come through, so I was very happy about it. After that, I just started mixing my colors for what will be the moon. And the way I went about this moon is to find a coaster, a big enough coaster, and I made a circle And then after that I found another small bottle which served as another circle to pin down what would be the opening of my moon. Now here, this is where the big learning experience came from me. This is, even though it was all dry, this is still watercolor. So one of the things that happened was that it started reactivating the color that was under it. So it's it's okay. At least in my case, it was okay with me. I did try to fix it. As you can see, there's some green happening there, and I tried to fix it at first, and then it was fine with me. And one of the other things that I really learned is that when you're working with metallics, it's very good to be standing up and sitting down and standing up again and just checking your work, because the angle really matters. I realized that what I was looking at when I was sitting down, it was not the same thing that the camera was capturing or what I could see when I was standing up. After playing with it for a while, I just decided to move on, and I am just making some markings. To be pretty honest, for this painting I didn't have like a set idea of what I wanted to do, so I started playing, and then I found that I really liked these leaves that I started making, so I started adding them to the piece, and little by little I tried to cover some of those other markings that I had already made. Once I kept making those, it started making sense to me what I was planning to do with my painting, and I tried to make it a little bit more cohesive. That's why you see some of the markings that I made here. I tried also to fix a little bit more of the moon, but it didn't really work out as I wanted to work out, so I just left it alone and tried to make other things that would make my piece coming together, because at this point, to be pretty honest, I felt that I had two different pieces trying to battle each other out. It didn't make sense to me, and that's okay. If you're making a piece and it's not making sense, you can just keep trying and keep seeing what you can add to make it come together. That's why I started adding a little bit more of color, a little bit more details and lines to the leaves, to the moon. I started this as little dots, and then I thought that it would look better as a line. So, and I was pretty happy with that, because it made it seem as it had like some kind of border, some kind of thing that was tying it together. Here I'm just trying to add more to the background, and I realized that wasn't a good way to go, so I tried to fix it, but it was already too late. So when something is not working, honestly, just add glitter to it. And I added some glitter, and I was very happy about it. And I tried to do it with my fingers, but all of the watercolor like moved to my fingers, so that's why we're using here a palette knife. And here it is. Here we have this fun piece. I am very happy with the outcome of it, because to be pretty honest, I didn't really have a plan for this painting. And thank you so much for coming to see my video again. We'll be here next week making another fun piece.